Hey class, welcome to my digital unit. This is Matthew Schultz, and my unit is called What Difference Does It Make? It's about social progress. So they're going to do some research and stuff. Let's take a look. So here I welcome them, sophomores in my English class. I tell them what it's going to be about, and I tell them what the next phase 2, is going to be about. How should I put this, which is actually going to be in the classroom as opposed to phase 1, which is online. So phase 2, outlining, drafting, revising, giving constructive feedback, editing, polishing, and of course final presentation, all very important aspects of writing. But in phase 1, they need to actually get the information that they're going to write about and grasp the ideas that they're going to write about. So I give them a survey here, which informs me of whether or not a student has the background knowledge necessary to even begin this unit. And of course, the access to internet capability is important, of course. They submit and it emails me. Pretty convenient. So let's get started. Here's a lesson breakdown. Lesson 1, get ready, view and respond to a lecture presentation. Lesson 2, get a grip, create a concept map for brainstorming. Lesson 3, get it together, select appropriate information from research and enter it into a 9-box graphic organizer. Start lesson 1. Hopefully I'm activating their interest, which is an important prerequisite to learning. Informing social progress. That's what this lecture is going to be about. But in order to participate in this assignment, in this activity, they need to be able to write their responses into a blog. So they got to sign up for EduBlogs, and they need to be able to refer to the handout, which is the guided notes, companion guide I call it. And this helps them kind of hone in on the key information in the lecture, which contains a lot of complex information because it's supposed to get them thinking. So here I tell them the reason why they need to be able to go back and forth between all of these different media platforms is that that's an important skill to have as a digital citizen. So here's my lecture. Let's just take a little peek. Hey there, welcome to lesson 1 of the writing project. Before we get going, I want to make sure that you have a copy of the companion guide for the lecture and that you've created a writing project blog at edublogs.com. At your blog. Alright, so let's move on to the end. They're already using the companion guide at this point. So we can get into the meat of the lecture. Being an informed citizen will require you to trace important ideas from one source to another, as well as understand the relationship between theory and practice. The key to both abilities is focused internet research. The focus of the extensive internet research that you will do for this project will be to follow the thread that weaves research supportive theories of social problems together with mainstream depictions of social issues. The end result of this project will be an article, essay, or report in which you share your new understanding of your topic. This piece of writing can be approached in one of the following ways. You can inform. So here I explain that they have 3 options. They can write an informative essay, they can write a persuasive essay, or they can write a play. Where their characters discuss social issues, and either way, they're going to have to have the same quality and quantity of detailed, supportable information. So I also give them a link to the original Prezi just in case. So let's move on. Lesson 2. Here in lesson 2. They develop a research question. I call the web quest extra, read all about it. because the theme is newspaper headlines and expertise. Because everybody knows that in a good news story, they have to talk about what the experts think. So here I tell them the task ahead of them. And of course, I include the little extra, read all about it, dude. I explain that they'll be using Poplet to make the concept map. So here, before they even get started, right, so before they get started on the web quest, I make sure that they sign up for Live Binders and Poplet. Now, Live Binders, they're going to use all the way to the end of Phase 3, so it's extremely crucial that they sign up for it, of course. I define social issue and social problem, and I give them a list of 21st century problems, which is important. This is the University of Maryland Libraries guide, and it has a great list here of horrible things. So here I give them a list of good news headlines sources, and here's examples of experts. We don't need to get into that, but it talks about all the different types of experts and actually gives examples, real life people. So let's see here. I take them through the entire process, and then they email me. But before they email me, they better know how to send a professional email. So I give them this link. This is aimed at high school students, which is really nice. Read before you send. That's important. Stuff that we take for granted, but of course, somebody thought to remind them that these are important things. Email is not the place to work out serious problems. Keep it polite. So, here I help them see what the point breakdown will be and prepare them for the next lesson. Let me read this for you. Now that you know how to use current news headlines to develop a research question, you're ready to move on to the next stage of the process, independent research. Lesson 3 will be on synthesizing your research into a supportable thesis. Until then, use the internet to investigate possible answers to the research questions generated by this web quest. Be sure to limit your search to credible sources from popular news, scholarly publications, and political organizations, saving all helpful pages to your binder. Feel free to email me if you need clarification of any kind. And a kind of funny video about finding good sources. So let's move on to lesson 3. First, the anticipation guide for before they start lesson 3. I made this. There are no right or wrong answers, just agree or disagree with these statements. And they pick one and they make a voice thread where they defend or explain the position that they took. Here's a sign-up link. Oops. Let's see here. Right, so lesson 3. Get it together. Well, I don't want to waste any time. We're running out of time here. It's already 9:15. We got just a few minutes left. So here I explain to them the purpose of what they're doing and get into the graphic organizer activity, which kind of targets the context of your support, because a lot of students will just throw a quote in there or refer to some source without explaining the significance, which is a big problem when they get into college. So here I give them a box by box breakdown of what is expected, each one with a question that helps them focus what the information is going to be. And they confer with the checklist before, during, and after. So I actually separate the checklist into before, during, and after questions, or statements rather, and I give them a space for notes. And self-assessment, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate the information you provided, or rate how well you feel this assignment has prepared you to begin writing, and identify the central claim that it generated. So next, well, let's see what it says here. Assessment. So here I give them the assessment timeline, but we'll go over this in more detail when we look at the template. So here is the standard template, filled in to the best of my ability with the most precise and concise information I could possibly provide. Let's zoom in here. So I separate the assessments into entry-level, formative, and summative. And even though I do put quiz in the summative zone and formative in the, outline in the formative zone, they're interchangeable. They're interchangeable, totally interchangeable. It really depends on how you're looking at it, at whether you're looking at the single lesson, or you're looking at the unit as a whole, or you're looking at the entire writing project. So let's move on. Let's zoom back out. Assessment. Here we have an outlining assignment that I throw into this assessment zone. This is to prepare them for the next phase. Plan before you write, if you want to do it right. Things like that, they try to, I hope it lightens the mood. So here's a picture I found on the internet with a pretty good illustration. Here I explain that they take the 3 different types of information from the organizer, which is political, popular, and academic, and they kind of plug it into the 3 main supporting details. And they can take information from the organizer to create the sub-details. And I explained that the introduction and the conclusion are going to contain, and the title are going to contain information that will change as they continue. But once they decide on the details, they're stuck with them. So here's a rubric for the outline. I actually adapted this specifically for the assignment. Point breakdown. Alright, so let's finish up. Running out of time here. So here we have, unit. Let's go over unit resources first. Here's the web tools used, headline news sites that I recommended to them. Each of these is not the main page, but actually a page that's for students about social issues, or just about social issues. And a link to my teacher site. Same picture from my teacher site, so associate, know what's up. And lastly, the end of unit quiz. So the way this works is you type in your name, and I created this quiz to ensure that they got all of the main ideas, because that was really the main purpose of phase 1. Is it's all kind of entry level and formative for the project as a whole. And as we get to the bottom, I finally ask them, this unit's lessons were blank. Way too easy, kind of fun, pretty challenging, or way too difficult. And whatever they type in here,